Hola, buenas noches, good evening. I am Mrs. Nelson. I'm sorry I can't be here tonight, but I wanted to just give you some quick update about our classroom, just to give you an idea of what goes on in our classroom. So first, I want to show you some pictures since you can't be in there right now. Sorry, just trying to move. Okay, so our classroom is set up in a U shape. We do have some big classes, so there are 25 desks in there, so this was the best shape to get them all in there. You can see on the walls there are some resources that the kids can use. We've got verbs, we've got colors, numbers, we've got question words, things just to help them out. Oh, this is our books. At some point, we are going to start reading. First, we'll do whole class reading so the students can learn strategies on how to read in Spanish. And then we will start where the students will get to choose their own book from here. These books are at different levels, but they're all for beginner learners so that they'll be able to choose something that works for them. And most of these books have a glossary at the back, so it will help them as well. And our goal is that pretty soon we'll start reading at 5 minutes a week, and we'll work our way up to 10 minutes a week of individual reading time. Just some more of our wall resources in here so the kids again have access to this stuff to help them at any time throughout the year. So we use Google Classroom. We are a proficiency-based classroom. We do a lot of in-class games and lots of stories and music. So let me just take a quick look at Google Classroom and show you what that looks like. When the kids log in, they go to the stream here, which is where I'll put some important information. They jump over to classwork in order to find out the work. So we've got, like, our current week is here. They have this daily check-in. They fill out every day to start class. Tells me how they're doing, but also has some questions about our current unit. They have this daily slideshow, which is a link to our daily plan, so they can click on that and follow along during class, or if they're absent, they know how to see what they missed and what to make up. They have this grade help, so if they have any questions about their grades, they fill out this Google form here. And then they have this list of graded assignments here. So if they open up this list, it has everything that we have done that's graded and how to make it up if they've missed it or want to try for a higher grade. So they have that all right there. So there's just a lot of good stuff in our Google Classroom there. All right, jumping back over here. We are a proficiency-based classroom, so that means that we focus on interpretive communication, interpersonal communication, and presentational. Interpretive, that is our reading and listening, where it's all coming into our brains and we're working on it ourselves in our head. Interpersonal is an exchange of information, so it's talking back and forth or writing back and forth, texting. So we're getting that conversation back and forth. Presentational is when they have something that they are sharing out. So it could be that they're doing a writing assignment where I'm the intended audience and it's not a back and forth. It could be a speaking where they're sharing some information and they're not expecting a back and forth. That would be that presentational. In-class games, we do Bookit, Gimkit, Quizlet. And then we do a lot of stories in class. That's how we learn Spanish, through different stories and music. For our stories, some of them are already created for us, and a lot of them are stuff that we create as a class, which makes the kids take a little more ownership and helps them learn it and retain it better when it's personalized to them. Vocab and grammar explanations are secondary. So if you learned a language when you were in high school, you may have done a lot of grammar and verb conjugations and verb charts. We don't do as much of that. They will see it and be exposed to it, but we really focus on using the language as a whole, as opposed to learning all the pieces of it and then trying to put it together. All right, couple of expectations. So no cell phones in class. That is the school policy. I allow them to put it into their backpack. However, if I do see it out during class, it then goes into the caddy, and it has to be in the caddy every day from then on. This is a link to my virtual classroom. If you click on this, everything in this is clickable, and your students have this on Google Classroom, and I think I shared this in the newsletter that went out last week and again earlier this week. Lots of good information there, and like I said, almost everything in there is clickable. And then these expectations, I went over this with the students last week and sent this home as well. If you do need a paper copy, I have some outside my classroom tonight, or ask your student, I can send one home. So here's their supplies, class rules, basically the biggest thing is we need their Chromebook every single day. We have a folder in class to keep all of their work. I don't expect work to go home and come back. I don't assign homework. We have plenty of time in class to do the work. If they don't get it done in class, then they have to do it at home on their own. There is no extra credit, but they can redo any assignment in class as often as they want. So instead of getting extra credit, I just have them redo any assignment that they have a low score on, or definitely anything that they have a 0 on if they haven't done it at all. We've got two categories, 10% for classwork and participation, and 90% for anything that is ability-based to show their communication skills. We talk about proficiency levels in class and how learning a language is a journey. We are hoping that at the end of Spanish 1, they are at novice high. Some of them might still be in the novice mid, and some of them might be in that intermediate low, just beyond novice high. There are 3 modes of communication, and then our class expectations. It's what I expect of students and what they should expect of me. This acknowledgement form, most of you have already filled it out because I included that in the newsletter earlier this week. All right, let's get back to full screen. All right, that is all. If you have any questions, please reach out, contact me, or have your child ask me as well. Thank you. I hope you have a good night.